The express train sliced through the countryside, a steel serpent winding its way towards the city. Inside passenger car 7, Sarah sat by the window, a book resting unread on her lap. Her gaze drifted over the passing fields, the distant hills, the scattered farmhouses. She wore simple clothing, a plain jacket, dark trousers, her hair pulled back in a practical ponytail. No one would have guessed her true profession. No one would have suspected the years of rigorous training, the countless hours spent honing skills most people only saw in movies. She was a ghost, a shadow, a weapon forged in the crucible of elite military operations. Her mind was a finely tuned instrument, constantly assessing, constantly observing. She noticed the slight tremor in the man 2 rows ahead, his nervous habit of tapping his knee. She registered the faint scent of stale cigarette smoke clinging to the woman across the aisle. These were automatic observations, part of a deeply ingrained habit. She was on leave, a rare moment of peace, a brief respite from a life of high stakes and extreme danger. She craved normalcy even for a short time. The train journey was uneventful for the first hour. Passengers chatted softly, children giggled, a conductor walked through checking tickets. Then the calm shattered. 3 men burst into the car from the rear. They were large, menacing figures, their faces obscured by dark balaclavas. Each held a firearm, a chilling display of immediate threat. Their movements were practiced, coordinated. This was not a spontaneous act of desperation. This was a planned operation. Everyone hands on your heads. One man roared, his voice distorted by the mask, yet still carrying an undeniable authority. He brandished a shotgun, its cold steel glinting under the fluorescent lights. The other 2 men moved quickly, one securing the front of the car, the other covering the passengers. Fear rippled through the car, a palpable wave of terror. Screams erupted quickly, stifled by the harsh commands of the hijackers. Passengers froze, their faces pale, their eyes wide with disbelief and horror. Sarah did not scream. She did not freeze. Her heart rate remained steady, her breathing controlled. Her mind immediately shifted into operational mode. She assessed the threats. 3 men, 1 shotgun, 1 automatic rifle, 1 handgun. Their positions, their body language. The lead hijacker, the one with the shotgun, seemed to be the leader. He was confident, aggressive. The man with the rifle was positioned to cover the most passengers. The man with the handgun was smaller but agile. She noted the subtle details. The way the rifleman held his weapon, a slight looseness in his grip, indicating perhaps less experience with that specific firearm. The leader's eyes, though hidden behind the balaclava, seemed to constantly scan the car, betraying a hint of anxiety beneath his bravado. The smallest man with the handgun had a distinctive limp, a slight drag of his left foot. These were not random observations. They were data points. They were vulnerabilities. "We want the train stopped," the leader commanded, his voice echoing through the stunned silence. "And we want the safe in the baggage car. No heroics. No one gets hurt if you cooperate." His words were punctuated by a menacing gesture with the shotgun. A young woman near the front of the car began to sob uncontrollably. Her distress was genuine, her fear contagious. The hijackers were prepared for this. The man with the handgun moved towards her, his weapon raised, a clear warning. This was her moment. This was the opening she needed. Her training kicked in with the force of instinct. Every muscle, every nerve ending became acutely aware. The world seemed to slow down around her. The sounds of the train, the muffled sobs of passengers, the harsh breathing of the hijackers all faded into a distant hum. Her focus narrowed to a razor-sharp point. The man with the handgun approached the sobbing woman. His attention was momentarily diverted, his focus on intimidating her into silence. Sarah moved. It was not a sudden lunge, not a theatrical leap. It was a fluid, almost imperceptible shift of weight, a controlled explosion of motion. Her hand shot out, not towards the handgun, but towards the man's wrist. She knew the human body. She knew its weak points. A sharp twist, a precise application of force. A gasp escaped his lips as the handgun clattered to the floor. Before he could react, before the other hijackers could even fully comprehend what was happening, Sarah's other hand found his neck. A swift, precise strike to the carotid artery. Not enough to kill, but enough to incapacitate. His eyes rolled back, his body went limp, collapsing silently to the floor. The leader with the shotgun spun around, his eyes wide with shock. He raised his weapon, but Sarah was already in motion. She did not charge head-on. She used the confined space of the train car to her advantage. A quick duck under a seat, a roll over an armrest. She was a blur of controlled movement, a phantom weaving through the narrow aisle. The shotgun boomed its blast, echoing deafeningly in the enclosed space. The pellets ripped through the seat, where she had been a fraction of a second before. The leader was momentarily disoriented by the recoil, by the unexpected resistance. That was all she needed. She emerged from behind him, her movements silent, her approach unseen. Her hand found the shotgun's barrel, twisting it upwards. Her foot connected with his knee, a sharp, precise kick, designed to compromise balance. As he stumbled, she disarmed him with a practiced motion. The shotgun was hers. She did not hesitate. The butt of the weapon swung in a short, powerful arc, connecting with the side of his head. He crumpled to the floor unconscious. Before he hit the ground, the rifleman was the last. He had been momentarily stunned by the rapid neutralization of his two comrades. He had raised his automatic rifle, his face a mask of confusion and fear. But fear made him dangerous. He began to swing the rifle towards Sarah. She did not give him time. She dropped the shotgun, it was too cumbersome in the close quarters. Her hands were her weapons now. She closed the distance in two powerful strides. His finger tightened on the trigger, but her hand was faster. A lightning-quick strike to his elbow, a nerve cluster, designed to induce immediate pain and temporary paralysis. His grip loosened. She ripped the rifle from his grasp. She did not need to use it. Her knee came up with brutal efficiency, connecting with his sternum. He gasped, his eyes wide with pain and disbelief. As he doubled over, she delivered a final precise strike to the temple. He collapsed, a heavy thud on the train floor. Silence descended upon the train car, a silence far more profound than the one before the hijacking. The only sounds were the gentle hum of the train and the ragged breathing of the terrified passengers. Three men, who had moments ago held absolute power, now lay unconscious on the floor, their weapons scattered around them. Sarah stood amidst the wreckage of their failed plan, her breathing still, even her posture calm. She picked up the automatic rifle and checked its safety. She then moved to the shotgun, securing it as well. Her eyes scanned the passengers, a silent reassurance. No one was hurt. No one had been injured. The passengers stared at her, their faces a mixture of awe, shock, and utter bewilderment. They had witnessed something impossible, something beyond their comprehension. The quiet woman who had been reading a book was now a force of nature, a whirlwind of controlled violence. The train conductor, alerted by the sudden commotion from passenger car 7, cautiously entered. He stopped dead in his tracks, his eyes widening at the sight before him. 3 unconscious men. A calm woman holding an automatic rifle. What in the world happened here? He stammered, his voice trembling. Sarah spoke, her voice clear and steady. These men hijacked the train. They are neutralized. Please contact the authorities and ensure the train is stopped at the next safe station. The conductor could only nod his head, dumbfounded. He quickly retreated to radio for help. At the next station, police swarmed the train. They found the 3 hijackers still unconscious, their hands secured by improvised restraints Sarah had fashioned from seatbelts. They found the weapons neatly stacked. They found the terrified but unharmed passengers. Detective Inspector Miller, a seasoned veteran of the railway police, arrived on the scene. He was a man who had seen everything, but this was new. Who did this? He asked, his eyes scanning the car. A dozen fingers pointed towards Sarah. She stood quietly, observing the scene. Miller approached her cautiously. "Ma'am, can you explain what happened?" he asked, his tone respectful. Sarah calmly recounted the events, her words precise, her details accurate. She did not exaggerate. She did not embellish. She simply stated the facts. "And you did this alone?" Miller asked, his disbelief evident. Sarah nodded. "They were a threat. I neutralized them." Miller looked at the unconscious hijackers, then back at Sarah. Her demeanor was calm, almost serene. There was no bravado, no arrogance, just quiet competence. He ran a background check on her name. The results came back almost instantly. His eyes widened. A classified file, a highly decorated service record. Special Operations Forces. Delta Force. The realization hit him like a physical blow. This unassuming woman was one of the most highly trained and dangerous operatives in the world. He understood now. The speed, the precision, the utter efficiency. It all made sense. The news spread like wildfire. The story of the train hijacking and the mysterious woman who single-handedly stopped it became a national sensation. Journalists clamored for interviews. The public hailed her as a hero. Sarah, however, retreated from the spotlight. She did not seek fame. She did not want recognition. Her mission was to protect, to serve, to neutralize threats. That was her purpose. The incident on the train was simply another mission, another threat neutralized. She returned to her quiet life, her book, her window seat. But things were different now. The world knew a little more about her. The world knew that sometimes the most dangerous individuals were the ones you least expected. The 3 hijackers woke up in police custody, their heads throbbing, their bodies aching. They were interrogated relentlessly. They could not explain what had happened. One moment they were in control, the next they were on the floor, their minds a blur. They remembered a flash of movement, a sudden impact, a crushing pain. They remembered nothing more. They had planned their heist meticulously. They had chosen their target carefully. They had accounted for every variable. But they had not accounted for Sarah. They had not accounted for the quiet woman in passenger car 7. They had learned a harsh lesson in 83 seconds. They had learned that she was Delta Force, and that lesson would haunt them for the rest of their lives. Sarah continued her life, her extraordinary abilities, a silent presence beneath her calm exterior. She knew that her path was not one of ordinary existence. She was a guardian, a protector, a silent sentinel. The train incident was a stark reminder of the constant need for vigilance. It was a testament to the fact that danger could strike anywhere at any time. And it was a confirmation of her own unwavering commitment to stand against it. She was Sarah, the woman who rode the train, who read her book, who saved lives in 83 seconds. Her legacy was not in headlines but in the safety of those she protected.